Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript party. My buddy Rhett back there. I forgot to get her a nut, so she's gonna have to go without a nut today. So yeah, I'm trying to um, get Angular. I'm trying to upgrade to Angular 20 today. Um, yeah, and I, so yesterday I upgraded one of my other applications up to 20, and I had all kinds of node drama. Um, I did not have NVM installed at the time, and I had like an older version of Node installed, and it was pretty crazy. It took me a couple hours to get everything squared away. Um, just some really bizarre issues. I like when I had to I was really surprised I didn't have NVM installed because I have, I generally need it eventually. Um, but um, what was odd about the whole thing? Well, one thing is like when I installed NVM, it created a new user on my account called like Flyby or something like that, which was really strange. Strange, and then it just didn't work. It was like installed in a for a different user or whatever. So then I uninstalled it. Let me see what. Yeah, it was like, and then it gave me a different link to download, and I had to do this thing. Uh, had to run this, and I remember having to do this at work as well to get things working. Um, so, but yeah, so oh well, see, yeah, before I had this flyby user that started showing up, and that was really strange. Yeah, so I have another application I'm trying to build for media uploading and stuff like that, and so I upgraded that one, and it was just a mess. But the other weird thing was, so I remember, uh, um, let's see, MVM, yeah, MVM. Like when we looked yesterday, we were saying, oh, I checked my version of Node, and my version of Node was new enough. And then once I actually tried to install Angular, it said, no, you don't have a new enough version. And it told me that I needed to have 20.11.1. So I uninstalled Node, I actually installed NVM. It took over the node. It asked if I wanted to take over the node that I had. I was like, yeah, go ahead. And then everything broke. So then I uninstalled NVM, which then uninstalled the version of Node that I had. I reinstalled NVM and installed 20.1.1, which was the one it said it needed. And then I went to go and upgrade Angular again, and then it said I need 20.1.9 and I didn't even have the point .0, which was weird. Um, so then I installed that, and then everything seemed to work. So now, hopefully, that goes better today. Um, it looks like yesterday I set up this command, so let's go ahead and do that. npm run CLI COR20. And I do like to do this for various reasons, but one of the main reasons I like doing this is because I like to know what I typed in, just in case something in the future changes or something like that. Because they change the instructions all the time, and they don't really. It's not like, oh, hey, you're just like, man, was that what it just changes. So I like to know what I actually did, and this ends up being a bit of a kind of a history for me. Um, Once I got the right version of Node, everything went nice and clean. So we'll hopefully cross our fingers that that happens again. Boom. So today is May 31st. It's Saturday. It's beautiful outside. Today is my eldest son's birthday. So that is awesome. And we're going to go do something here shortly with him. Um, so I don't have very much time to do my two Saturday videos. Um, but you installed, yeah. It's so weird. The installed CLI is outdated. First thing ChatGPT did was tell me to install Angular 20 globally, and I was like, and I was kind of talking to my wife, just sort of half paying attention, and ended up installing Angular 20 globally, and I was like, gosh darn it, because I don't really like to have it installed globally because I find that sometimes it can be confusing as to what's happening. So I don't like to have a CLI globally installed. Um, and So I had to uninstall that. That was It's so crazy how everything will always like when I first started working on Angular, it was Angular 2, Angular 1. They were in beta, and it was like it wanted me to install the CLI globally. Like it's like really, like now I have probably dozens of different versions of different projects and all different versions of Angular all over my application. So it looks like everything's going good in the neighborhood. This is always a bit of a slow thing. Man, look at this outline of my package. It is a neat little sort of history, though, right? Like like we know that Cypress was very early. Camera was one of the first. The camera interface was one of the very first things we ever did. It's kind of neat. Another crazy thing that happened that was very super unusual was that my we have we have two internets because so we have AT&T, which is just lightning fast. It's like a fiber optic, super fast internet. But the thing is like it's just been goofy over the years. We've had that for like 20 plus years. And I remember one time I was unemployed and I was driving Uber, and AT&T started this thing where they would charge you money, extra money for using too much internet. And like we would every month they would say that we used way more internet than we did. And so then I was on the phone with AT&T, and I had literally disconnected my 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 router. My router was not connected, and I was talking um, to the customer service person, and she's just like, right now you're using X amount of internet, and I was like, that's not possible. And she's like, I can see it right here. You're using the internet. And I'm like, I'm sitting here looking at my router in my lap, disconnected. My router is not even connected to the internet right now, and you're claiming that I'm using internet. And then so I was driving Uber, and I actually ended up picking up this vice president and his wife of AT&T that was in charge of this very thing. Like this fell under his thing, and I guess he was one of the people that was really pushing for charging people for using too much internet and stuff. And I rarely ever chew anyone out. I mean, that is just not my personality. And I chewed this guy out in front of his wife, up one side, down the other side, telling him how this bullshit, how like my internet's not even connected, right? And I'm getting charged, and they're saying that I used internet when I don't even have a connection to the internet. Like I once I saw, because that was what would happen is they would tell you how much internet you're using, and once I would saw I was getting closed. Let's see, update. Okay, so now it gives me choices, and I always get confused at this point. Select, press space to select, A to toggle all, I to invert selection, and enter to proceed. So I just hit enter. That's what I did last time. It added new stuff um, into my JSON, my Angular JSON file. But it looks like it's already added stuff into my Angular JSON. So let's see what we've got here. Yeah, so actually it already added these new schematics in. Um, and let's see what's it's changed. So it added all these things. Has it updated? material. I'm curious. CD, see it. Oh, it did update this CDK. No, CDK is not updated. So it left material alone. So I guess what I want to do is hit enter here. Yeah, so what I would see these like that I was getting close, like, and we were about to get charged. So I would literally disconnect my router so that I wouldn't go over. And then it would say, "Oh yeah, like let's say it was like 3 days because we didn't have very much money. We were like in serious financial dire straits at that point. Me and my wife were working Uber just to try to make ends meet, and like so anyways, I would unplug the router so we would have no access to the internet for 3 days, and I mean for like the last 3 days of the month, and then they would say that we went over and that we used like I don't know a bunch during the 3 days that it was disconnected. So I went round and around and around. They never gave me my money back, but they did get rid of the program. Um, but then, so there was that. And then looks like we have to hit enter again. Something about converts an entire application to block control flow syntax. I think this is, I think this is this. Oh, wait, no, sorry. I think they're talking about, yeah, still not. Maybe I don't have any. No, I definitely have something like, okay, so let's go to app. Interface, components, app custom layout. Yeah, like this. Using these ats instead of ng's and stuff. I think that's what this is saying. I've been doing that for a while, so I'm good shape on that, but I'll just hit enter. And then let's, okay, so it looks like we're good. So, but anyway, so yeah, I would unplug it and it would still say I used it. So they got rid of that program, but then they followed up very closely to where basically if once you hit a certain amount, they would throttle the heck out of you. And they denied it all. They just absolutely denied it. They're like, no, we never did this. But like our internet, we get so slow the last 3 days of the month. So, and my wife makes her money off of the internet, and my son he tried to be like a streamer and stuff. So we were using a lot of internet. So we bought a second. We have two internets, and now our AT&T, I guess our router is like 15 years old, 20 years old, something like that. So it's like they're no longer supporting it. So they just basically, AT&T just decided we didn't need internet this weekend. so, so, which is kind of funny because that's how we watch TV now. So we don't have any TV for the next until our new router comes from AT&T. But I'm on on our other internet right now, which is I'm glad we have two internets. It just everyone, you don't need two internets until you need two internets, and once you need it, then you need it. So let's see. With any luck, my friends, we will be on Angler 20. And that was pretty painless. Yesterday was pretty painful. But my wife was just telling me all kinds of funny and hilarious things about her TikTok adventures yesterday. TikTok is a very interesting thing. Really, social media is a very interesting thing. Looks like no, we did not. Something went wrong. Oh wait, it's still loading. Yeah, I remember it seemed like it was so much slower. Yes, after. Oh no. Yesterday I thought we checked to see. Oh wait, no matching NG modules. I wonder if I should do. Okay, so that is not good. I feel like maybe. Hmm. Okay, so I'm very curious about this. I feel like probably the right thing to do is probably to restart the computer, or maybe restart. Um, uh, but you know, now that we have this resource, this ChatGPT, it'd be kind of nice to ask. Okay, so I just upgraded um, one of my Angular projects to v20, and it seemed to go well, but when I tried to start the project, I got this error. Oh, did I not? Oh, you know what? I don't think I did the second half. You know what? I think my problem, yeah, I think I didn't do the material upgrade. Let's see, let's hit the up button. Yes. Oh, I forgot to do the second one. Just too much talking, too much enjoying life. Okay. npm run mat 20. Oh, I forgot to. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So that's what happens when you upgrade. You don't upgrade material along with it. Now, I do not understand. Well, I get it. No. Yeah, see it. And that is such a pain in the butt. Okay. So get. And I believe there's a way you could do it where you don't have to. Where where you don't have to. What am I trying to say? Where you don't, where it all happens in one fail swoop. Good. Okay, so we want to add everything. Git commit -m upgrades Angular to v20. And we definitely don't want to push that, just in case we decide we don't want, that we need to roll out of these changes. We don't want that out there. It's a good practice. If you think you might want to back out of something, you probably shouldn't push it to the remote. All right. Yeah. So it gives me two responses. Yeah. I don't know which one. I wonder why it's like assuming. Okay, so I was on material. Yeah, I wonder why they changed that. I think the new name is a little bit better. Like, I think after render happens over and over and over again. And this sort of, that name um, sort of implies that um, they changed. What did they changed it to a different name? That is more like implies that it's a cyclical thing. Um, render question mark. I had heard that they were getting rid of it on one of their streams. It was kind of funny because I didn't, I actually searched to see if I was using. Um, it's so weird because they're getting away from NG Zone too. Um, yeah, play, rename it. Or get get rid of it. So here's the thing: is like, okay, so if I was talking to you, whoever you are that's watching my video, I would assume that you would either say I don't know, or I think, or whatever, or you would know. If you knew, you would just give me an answer. But ChatGPT is not like that. It will give you an answer whether it knows or not. If it doesn't know, it'll just make some shit up. Um, so so you have to sort of keep that in mind when you're. Um, Man, that, like, I've worked in places that this is a a deal breaker. This is going to kill them. Getting rid of it. Um, um, I'm curious what you're supposed to do if you. Wow. Whew. Yeah, this was a brutal, just a brutal decision by the Angler team. Oh my gosh. Such a brutal decision. Um, yeah, yeah. Man, I just don't. Yeah, I am so stunned by it. I just can't even come up with a. I can't even come up with a response right now. I'm just there's so many organizations that use this after render, and like I don't understand why they, if this is true, like if you could do this, then why didn't they just like re just do that under the covers? Like it, uh, yeah, that was, yeah. I mean, they don't call it the bleeding edge for nothing, guys. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. So that is good. Let's see what it says. Yeah, some. clear migration. Yes, guys, this is such a jerk move. Uh, uh, oh well, maybe it was always an internal utility. Oh, maybe I. Uh, in some of my um Angular. Okay, so yeah. Oh, maybe it was after like view render. Oh, see, I thought it was one of those the life cycle hooks. Now, this is what we're going through right now. Is the only chance that we'll ever have to go through this. Okay, so I had like this false after view checked. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So it's not. I was thinking. Those were the first, but what's was actually doing? Yeah. So I don't think I was ever actually using after render. Um, for some reason, I thought it was one of those life cycle hooks that you would add, um, and I don't know. Yeah, what it was just like it does sound like one of those. So okay, so that's good. Okay, so now one thing we have, and this is probably the best, absolute best time ever to have a npm run um, Cypress open. This makes me so happy because I've always, after doing an upgrade, I always have this like awful sinking feeling that something under something is not working, but there's no way to check everything. And I think at this point I do have enough end-to-end test setup to um, to validate that like none of the keyboarding stuff is broken, none of that, that all this stuff still works, or if it is broken, to be like, hey, this is broken. So let's see. Now, one thing I did learn though is that I will never install Cypress as part of the project again. I will always have it be its own project, um, because the TypeScript version, they could diverge between the two of them, and if that happens, it's kind of a nightmare scenario. So this one definitely should pass, I think. It's so weird though. I think Angular is much, much slower now. That was like my first sense yesterday, but that one I tried for the first time the server side rendering, so I thought that's what it is. But like, oh, it looks different now though. It definitely looks different. I'm sure that's the material. Or it was zoomed in. last one. That's nice. It is so nice having this. All right, everybody. I think that does it. I think we are officially Angular 20, version 20. Happy coding all. Bye.